Hello everyone, I'm Mike Sokol from RVelectricity, and welcome to my comparison of basic surge protectors with more advanced units, something we call total electrical protection units, or TEPs. So this is sponsored by SurgeGuard, but it does in fact have to do with just about any brand surge protector out there on the market. Let me show you a little bit what's going on. So I've got two units over here. I have something that we call a basic surge protector. In fact, this is a SurgeGuard 44260. This just happens to be a 30 ampere unit. And in fact, this is very similar to many of the units you can find from other manufacturers. You can see it has a set of lights that tells you that it's properly hooked up in terms of doesn't have reverse polarity, doesn't have an open ground. It also includes an extra light down here to show you that the Mothe devices are operational. This is what we call a basic surge protector. We also have a more advanced unit, and this is a SurgeGuard 34951. You can see it's much larger, not just because it's a 50 amp unit, but because it is what we call total electrical protection. Some of the manufacturers will call it EMS for electrical management system. But what it does is it has a big relay in there that can monitor voltages and disconnect you from everything. So let's get on and kind of figure this out a little bit. So let me back up, go look at the other camera. So we're just going to be watching this right now. So I'm going to first turn off my power, and you can see I'm going to be able to monitor the voltage of this unit while we're varying it from my portable pedestal here. So as I apply voltage to it, you can see the voltage down here is coming up instantly. That's because there's no relays or any other circuits in here. This is basically a set of what we call Mothe devices, metal oxide varistors, and their job is to stop electrical spikes, nearby lightning strikes from when motors kick off and introduce back voltage into the lines and that kind of thing. But it doesn't really do anything to protect you against over voltage or under voltage. It can't. And let me show you how this works. So you can see if I start bringing the voltage down on it on my variac back here, as I'm bringing it into this unit at lower voltage, it's just sending it out to the RV at a lower voltage. And again, this is not just a SurgeGuard thing. This is every other manufacturer's basic ones work exactly the same way. When I get down to 100 volts or so, which is really considered to be quite dangerous for your air conditioner, refrigerators, whatever, these basic surge protectors will happily pass it on. In fact, I could take this down into the 80s, into the 70s, into the 60s, into the 50s, and they will all pass these low voltages into your RV. It's just the nature of the beast. There's nothing else they can do. On the other side of it, as we get higher and higher, you might think that if you just have this higher voltage condition, it would stop it, but it doesn't. It's only there to protect you against spikes that are many hundreds of volts or even thousands of volts. But you know, I can take this up to 125, 135, 140 odd volts. And again, none of these basic surge protectors will do anything about it, or even warn you about it. They are very good at stopping spikes. They cannot do anything about high voltage or low voltage conditions. So let's shut that off. Let's go take a look at a total electrical protection unit. So this guy right here, whoops, let me move my camera over just a smidge. There we go. This guy right here, in fact, is a SurgeGuard 34951. When I power it up, it does not send power out to the RV immediately because it's thinking about this. See, it's got a delay that's running. See, delay 4 seconds, 3 seconds. After the first 8 seconds, if it likes the voltage, it now turns it on. So we're seeing 122 volts on that one leg. It's also checking for frequency, checking to make sure there's not overcurrent, and a variety of other things. As I start bringing the voltage up, you can see I'm getting caution while flashing light. What that's telling us is that it does not like what we're doing, and after a few more seconds, it's liable to just shut off and disconnect our relays. So let's wait just a minute. Now, as we go down, and we take it down into the 120 volt range, it says it's okay, everything's happy. So it's monitoring this constantly. Once we get down below 104 volts or so coming into it, you can see what's happening. It's flashing again, and after 10 seconds or so, it's going to shut off the power. So it knows, it doesn't like what has happened to your campsite power, and it's protecting your air conditioner, your refrigerator, and a bunch of your other electronics from low voltage. And you can see it's caution when flashing, it's blinking, there's no power. If I then bring the power back up, it has like a 128-second delay. And the reason for that is you do not want to like shut the power off to your air conditioner and then turn it back on immediately, because there's extra pressure in the compressor. And so we call this head pressure. And then the motor itself will just lock up, attempting to spin this up. It can burn up the compressor in your refrigerator, compressor in your air conditioner, both expensive fixes. So what's happening here is this guy's counting down the amount of time recommended by the air conditioner manufacturers to protect it, the compressor, from locking up and doing bad things. You don't have any of that kind of protection over in these little units. Again, there's no relay, they don't know, they don't warn you. That's the difference you get for something that costs $75 to $100 versus something that costs $300 or $400. You're getting that extra layer of protection. And you can see this thing is counting down right now. It still has 60 seconds. Let me just talk a minute also about some of the Surge Guard technology. I have torn apart every single surge protector on the market that I can get my hands on. And I think by far they have absolutely the best technology. They not only include over voltage and under voltage protection, they also have what we call downstream open neutral protection. So if there is the neutral wire that opens up in your 240 volt service coming in, even if it happens after this unit that you have hanging on the pole happens down inside of your RV, it knows and will disconnect your RV from that electrical power. And if you have high current on here from somebody jumping the two poles together on the 50 amp connector, this will also shut you down. So you have all these levels of protection, plus they do include an extra little gadget that you can stick inside of your RV that will link up to this via Bluetooth. Let me see if it comes back on here in a second. I believe it will. I guess I got to push the button. There. So it's kind of hard to tell. There you go. You can see this is showing you voltages, kilowatts, amperes, and everything on a little remote. So you could have this living out in your on the pedestal or in the belly of your RV, and you could be watching the stuff inside. So there's the basics. The inexpensive, less than $100 ones offer good protection, but only for surges, voltage spikes, and that sort of thing. The more complete total electrical protection units from Surge Guard, sometimes referred to as EMS from a number of other companies, offers you way more protection. They not only take care of voltage spikes, but they also watch for over voltage, under voltage, too much current on the neutral, open current on the open neutral imbalance, and a variety of other things, the generator frequency, stuff like that. So I'm recommending a total electrical protection unit from Surge Guard is really the best unit that I've ever encountered. So again, I'm Mike Sokol from RVelectricity. This is a Surge Guard sponsored exhibit, but go ahead and look in the comments section if you want to find out more information. And thank you very much.